A shocking truth has just been revealed that you need to hear right now. A family enemy who has been working against you in secret has finally been apprehended. This is not just another piece of information. This is something that directly affects your life, your security, and your loved ones. The name of this person will leave you stunned when you discover who it is. They've been closer than you realize, influencing situations behind the scenes. This is the name you've been waiting to hear. Watch fast, because this message won't stay up for long. This isn't just any ordinary revelation. The truth about this family enemy holds the power to transform your understanding of situations you've been facing. What you're about to discover will open your eyes to problems you couldn't solve because you didn't know who was causing them. Take a deep breath, because this information is meant to free you from invisible chains. The person who has been apprehended was working against your happiness, success, and peace for longer than you know. When you discover who it is, past conflicts, unexplained tensions, and family struggles will suddenly make perfect sense. This is your moment of clarity. Your instincts have been trying to warn you about this person, and now confirmation has arrived at the perfect time. If you're ready to discover the truth about who has been working against your family, type "reveal" now and prepare yourself for what comes next. Let this important information sink in fully and give yourself permission to see clearly. Your willingness to face the truth invites protection into your life immediately. There's someone who has been pretending to support you while secretly causing problems in your life. The weight of their deception has created unnecessary burdens for you and your loved ones. You felt something wasn't right, but couldn't identify the source of the negative energy. This person has moved through your life like a shadow, appearing helpful on the surface while undermining your efforts when you weren't looking. They've spoken kindly to your face while spreading rumors behind your back. They've offered help that actually created more problems. They've positioned themselves as a friend while acting as an enemy. The authorities have finally recognized their pattern of behavior and taken action. This isn't about ordinary family disagreements or normal conflicts. This is about deliberate actions meant to create chaos in your life. Like this video to help spread this urgent warning to others who need this information. You're not the only one being affected, and sharing this message could protect someone who's suffering without understanding why. By taking action now, you become part of the solution. This knowledge is power, and the more people who receive it, the fewer victims this type of person can claim. The tactics this family enemy has used are calculated and consistent. They've mastered the art of creating confusion by telling different stories to different family members. They plant seeds of doubt about your intentions when speaking to your loved ones. They offer advice that seems helpful, but actually leads to failure. They show up during family crises, not to help but to gather information they can use later. They remember every vulnerability you've shown and exploit it when you're at your weakest. This person has been jealous of your happiness, your relationships, and your achievements. They couldn't stand to see you succeed or find peace. Their greatest weapon has been your trust, the way you included them and confided in them. The authorities caught them because their pattern finally became too obvious to ignore. Multiple families reported the same experiences, and the connection was finally made. The power to protect yourself begins with awareness. Type "protect" now to claim the shield of knowledge for you and your loved ones. This simple act affirms your commitment to standing guard over what matters most. Your family deserves to be free from hidden interference and manipulation. You have the strength to face this truth and the wisdom to use it appropriately. This revelation isn't meant to create fear, but to empower you with facts you've needed for too long. The moment to reveal this person's identity is approaching. This information isn't being shared to create drama, but to provide clarity that leads to healing. Knowing who has been working against your family allows you to make informed decisions about who you trust moving forward. This revelation may initially shock or even hurt you, especially if this person has been close to you. That's the devastating reality of betrayal. It comes from where you least expect it. But temporary discomfort leads to lasting peace when the truth is finally clear. This information is time-sensitive because this person's influence can still affect your life even after they've been apprehended. Their words may still be echoing in your mind, affecting your choices. The first thing you should know about this family enemy is that they've been in your circle for quite some time. This isn't a stranger or someone who just recently entered your life. They've earned your trust gradually, positioning themselves as someone helpful and concerned about your well-being. They likely know intimate details about your family dynamics, your challenges and your vulnerabilities. This person has a pattern of inserting themselves into situations where they don't belong, offering unsolicited advice that seems wise on the surface. They're often the first to reach out when there's a problem, not from genuine concern, but to stay informed and involved. They've likely been to your home, met your children or parents, and been included in family gatherings. They've used this access to gather information and identify weak points in your family structure that they could exploit. Your family's safety is worth fighting for. Type safety to claim protection from hidden enemies and strengthen your discernment. This knowledge doesn't just expose one person. It helps you recognize the pattern so you can identify similar threats in the future. You are developing spiritual sight that sees beyond appearances into true intentions. Trust this growing awareness. Your intuition has been trying to alert you, and now you have confirmation that those feelings were justified. This family enemy has specific behaviors that can help you identify them now. They frequently compare your family to others, highlighting where you fall short. They remember every mistake you've made and bring it up at strategic moments. They offer help that makes you dependent on them. They share your private struggles with others under the guise of seeking advice for you. This person is masterful at appearing concerned while actually enjoying your difficulties. They've likely suggested solutions that only made your situation worse. They create triangles in relationships, carrying messages between family members instead of encouraging direct communication. They've told you secrets about other family members to make you feel special while doing the same with your information. When confronted, they become victims themselves, deflecting accountability through tears or accusations. They've been feeding off your family's energy, thriving on chaos while presenting themselves as a source of stability. To protect yourself and your family from this type of person in the future, establish clear boundaries about information sharing. Notice who seems too interested in your problems or too eager to be involved in family matters. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions. Energy vampires leave you feeling drained even after seemingly positive conversations. Document inconsistencies in what someone tells different family members. Trust your instincts when something feels wrong, even if you can't immediately identify why. Create direct communication channels between family members rather than allowing information to flow through third parties. Remember that genuine support empowers you toward independence, not dependency. When in doubt, take a step back and observe patterns over time rather than isolated incidents. Healthy relationships bring clarity, not confusion. The moment has come to understand who this family enemy truly is. Preparing yourself for this truth requires courage, because this revelation may challenge relationships you valued. Remember that knowing is always better than remaining in deception. This person's apprehension means their negative influence can finally be addressed and healed. Their tactics only worked in secrecy, and now that light is shining on the truth, their power diminishes. As the name is revealed, you may experience a range of emotions: shock, anger, betrayal, or even relief at finally understanding what's been happening. All these reactions are normal and part of the healing process, Some of you already have a name coming to mind. Trust that inner knowing. Others may be resistant to acknowledging who this is because the truth feels too painful. Open your heart to what you've always known but haven't been ready to face. The time for clarity has arrived. The truth will set you free, even when it's difficult to hear. Type "reveal" now to face this important information with courage and strength. This final step demonstrates your commitment to living in reality rather than comforting illusion. The divine is protecting you through knowledge and awareness. You are strong enough to handle this truth. You've already survived the harmful effects of this person's actions. Now you're simply putting a name to what you've experienced and taking back your power. As you process this revelation, understand that the enemy who's been apprehended has a name that may surprise you, yet on a deeper level you've suspected it all along. This person who's been working against your family isn't always someone else. Sometimes the greatest enemy to family peace and progress is within. The negative thoughts you've allowed to grow, the doubts you've harbored about yourself and others, the fears that have directed your decisions. These are the enemies that have been apprehended by awareness. The name is your own limiting beliefs. These thought patterns have been recognized and can now be addressed directly. This isn't about blaming yourself, but about recognizing where true change begins. External enemies have power only when our internal enemies give them access. By identifying these thought patterns, you've taken the first step toward true freedom. Now that you understand the true identity of this family enemy, you can take immediate action. Start by noticing negative thought patterns without judgment. Write down limiting beliefs that have held your family back. Share this message with loved ones who are ready to address their own internal saboteurs. Create a family culture where honest communication is valued over keeping up appearances. When negative thoughts arise, acknowledge them rather than fighting or feeding them. Remember that awareness itself is transformative. You don't need to wage war against these thoughts. Simply recognizing them diminishes their power. Freedom begins with this awareness. You are not alone in this journey of self-discovery and family healing. Every person faces these internal enemies at some point. The difference is in whether we recognize and address them or continue allowing them to operate in secret. Your willingness to face this truth sets you apart. Trust in your capacity to create positive change. The apprehension of these limiting beliefs marks the beginning of a new chapter for you and your loved ones. Stay vigilant, stay committed to truth, and watch as your family transforms through the power of awareness.